So I'm just going to add a locator here. I'm going to say Jim looks up. You just spell it right. There's that locator. And down here, we'll say Jim looks up again. We'll add another locator there. So imagine having a locator for visual effects, for audio cues, for something that's done with through the editorial process. Jim looks up again. So we now have our locators. We go to our little find tool. And I want to search for, in my timeline, locators, clip names, or timeline text. We'll look for Jim, hit find, and look, it took me to that first locator. And every time I hit find, it'll take me to the next one. So if you want to look for all of your VFX, boom, 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 it'll actually step you through all of those. All right, let's take this a step further. Imagine you've captured hours of footage, and it may not be logged. And you know he said something. You remember what he said, but you don't remember what clip it was in. So we go to find, and we're going to use some brand new technology that we licensed from the same company, Nexidia, that we did the phonetic recognition. This is called phrase find. So I know he says something about the tail landed. Type in tail landed. I go to phrase find. It's now looking, it's indexing all of your media in the background all the time. And it has now pulled up.
Tail landed?
Yeah.
Tail landed? Tail landed? Tail landed?
All right. It has phonetically gone in and found where that dialogue is. Now, of course, it's clean language, it's clean audio. If there is, some discrepancies there, if there is sound, it's going to try to get as close as possible. And what you're seeing is a score. So the higher the score, the more definite it's gotten close to what it's looking for.
Play a low score.
All right. Let's see. Now, again, it's clean, so let's see.
Stay quiet if they don't.
Yeah.
Tail landed?
So even at 65, as opposed to, 91, it's pretty good. I know I've done some tests, at reality television. This is huge. Finding curse words, finding where somebody's yelling, anything like that. I know Top Chef is an example I did, and I was searching for mushrooms. And if you found mushrooms, and there wasn't mushroom, mushy something, So it's going to get close. But being able to do this is huge, because again, you don't have to necessarily search or find that clip and then play it to find where he might have said something. So this, by the way, is a added cost to Media Composer, but what we've done with version 5.5.2 of the software is not only do you get a 30-day free trial of Media Composer, but you get a 30-day free trial of Phrase Find with the download. So feel free to try it out, anytime. Again, it's huge. It's going to go across, and try to find phonetically anything that it can. So it's pretty cool. Let's see. Any questions so far? Yes?
I'm just going to say, since this is a Final Cut meeting, I think it's worth mentioning that the phrase find function is available as a separate plugin for Final Cut Pro. It's called Get.
The Get,
I think it's
right.
cheaper than Avid, actually. We are Final Cut after all.
That's okay. Just out of curiosity, how much is Get?
I just bought it. I think it's $245. Is what I paid for it.
Yeah, no, Phrase Find is running like $495, I believe.
It's exactly the same engine.
Yeah.
Right, Nexidia.
Can you use the same program on both applications if you have to have it?
That I just know.
No, I'm sure it's a different licensing scheme. And also when you take Phrase Find and you install it, it installs it into the Media Composer application. Let's see, what other fun little tidbits.
Notice I killed answering any other questions.
No, that's all right. Yes.
Can you use this with script sync in some kind of fashion? That way you really don't have to script sync anymore?
Well, you don't need script sync if you have phrase find.
Okay.
And you don't need phrase find if you have script sync. You can buy them as a bundle or you can buy them independently. Are there any other questions before I show? Yes.
Any new feature on color correction on Avid Media Composer?
Do we have color correction?
Yeah. Or is it the same like the old version?
It's basically is the same. We have not made any changes in color correction with Media Composer or Symphony. We are hoping the other control surface, I know I mentioned mix, control, and transport. The fourth one is a color control panel, which currently works with every other application except Media Composer and Symphony. But we are looking towards putting that to be available with Media Composer and Symphony in the future. So you do have a control surface hopefully available for that soon. It works with Apple Color. Has anyone seen or used, I'm just trying to figure out for time, are there any other questions?
Yeah, you got time.
Does anyone not see script sync? Who would like to see what that is?
Yes.
Basically, if you have a text file and Final Draft has a save as Avid format, just a simple text file. If I go and look at my text file in my lost project, this is just a simple text file. Again, formatted, so it has all the indentation for the characters, what's being said. Now, how do you bring that into Media Composer? And we've had script-based editing for years. The new phonetic recognition has been in for a few years, or a couple years now. So if you go to File and New Script, you simply select the text file, say Open, and now you can see it's imported into the sequence because there's a little play and record button, and also in your project window, the icon is a little scroll. Okay? So now what we need to do is take the video and sync it to the text file. So I know that in my grouped clips bin, I have, it is a multicam piece.
You see where the tail ended? Yeah, probably in the water. You run.
So what we do is you highlight in your script, and this used to be a manual process. The poor assistants who had to go in and manually sync this up would take them days. You highlight the script. We'll take all of these clips, and this is 21 minutes of footage, which is now dropped in and assigned for that portion of dialogue, for that scene. So you'll see each different take is right here. We highlight all of these. We go to script and script sync, and this is where you're choosing, using the same phonetic recognition engine from Nexidia and Get. You're choosing the language that you want. Of course, I guess there's a huge difference between North American English and UK English. You're choosing the tracks you want. Selecting the dialogue is just telling you how many characters in do you want to start syncing. Skip everything else. So it looks at the 25 frame characters in, say OK, and now it's breaking down the text into phonetic symbols and then matching those phonetic symbols to the captured audio waveforms from the video. And what it does is it now has marks where every line of dialogue is being said. So if you want to hear him say, you see where the tail ended, you double click right here.
You see where the tail ended? Yep.
All right. And if you highlight all of these, you basically can play every performance.
See where the tail ended? Yeah. You see where the tail ended? You see where the tail ended? Do you see where the tail ended?
And you can see in the script,
You see where the tail
you see
ended?
it's highlighting
You see where the tail ended?
each take
You see
when
where
it
the
plays it.
tail ended?
Now the beautiful thing about this is not only does it give you basically a vertical representation of your clips with the marks in and out, but these are marks in and out where every line of dialogue is being said. So what you can do at this point is, you see I have nothing in my timeline. I can hold down a couple modifiers here, and the icon turns into a splice in. So I can take that first take, next line, and what it's doing is it's building line for line
Adequate story if they ask stay.
Oh, you know why? They were all selected. My bad. The idea is that you select them. Here we go. So you see as they highlight, every line is now coming in.
Did you see where the tail landed?
Yeah, probably in the water.
You run, you can make that short in an hour. Ethan, get up there to that fuselage.
And then, of course, you can use the Smart tool and go in and trim. Now, we also have another real important key that is in the Smart tool window, which is your link selection toggle. And for Media Composer editors, this is actually nice, even for new editors. And what that allows you to do is, as you select in your segment modes, if that is not selected, Media Composer editors are used to, wait a minute, I have the video, I know that that audio goes with it as well. Now with link selection toggle on, that means every time I select, it always takes the video and audio linked together at any time, so you can select it all. And we've also implemented a couple Final Cut buttons here: select left, select right, and select in and out. So if you are at a point and you want to select everything from that point to the right, select that, to the left, so you can always be assured what you're selecting, everything to the end is there if you grab it and move it. So some other nice features.